T-Mobile US continues to top 5G speed charts. And this is RCR Wireless. This was from today, actually. All right, T-Mobile US achieved a median 5G download speed of 220 megabits during Q2 2023. So they are on top. T-Mobile is the fastest 5G carrier in the country when it comes to download speeds, median download speeds. And actually, most 5G categories, anything involving speed. Okay, so at 220 megabits, folks, that's really, really fast. Verizon came in at number 2. 133.5 megabits. AT&T came in third at 86 megabits. So why the discrepancy here? Well, it's very simple. T-Mobile has like 285 million pops of N41 covered across the country. Verizon has 220 million pops of their C-band across the country. AT&T is probably somewhere around 150, 160 million pops of C-band and DoD. That's why the speeds aren't as high. Now, AT&T is a distant third. Verizon is a distant second. Now, Verizon isn't going to be a distant second for very long. The next time they produce this report, Verizon is probably going to increase this speed by 50%. They're going to go from 133 megabit median download speed to like 190 or something. Seriously. T-Mobile's going to go up too, right? Their 220 is going to probably go up to like 250 or something. You know, but that gap is going to be much smaller because Verizon's got a lot of C-band clearing and they are at a blistering pace in upgrading C-band. F your feelings, them's the facts. They're both going to increase. And AT&T is going to increase too. They're just not going to increase as rapidly because, you know, their upgrade pace is not that of Verizon's or, you know, kind of what we've been seeing from T-Mobile. We are kind of seeing a slowdown on AT&T, and we're predicting it to slow down even more. So, yeah, it's not really a tight race between the carriers. It will be a tight race, I think, between Verizon and T-Mobile. That'll be real tight here in the next report or two. When it comes to latency, that is a much tighter race. T-Mobile with 51 millisecond. Remember, lower numbers are better. Verizon, 53, and then AT&T at 62. 5G consistency, no statistical winner for the quarter. AT&T was 66.4, Verizon 75.1, T-Mobile at 75.9. So Verizon and T-Mobile very close. But T-Mobile technically higher. Q2 video score, T-Mobile at 78.7, and Verizon at 77.39. That's pretty close. And then AT&T at 70. All right, so look, big shout out to Carlos S. Tech. Me and him think a lot alike on a lot of things. And I really put a lot of emphasis on quality of networking. I think the network experience, just in general, has to be good all the time. Once you start having problems and issues with quality networking, it really doesn't matter what kind of speed you have, right? I don't really see, on a national scale, congestion being a problem. Congestion feels isolated. It happens occasionally in some very specific locations. I would not describe any carrier, whether it's Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile, I would not describe any of them as being congested. You just can't. There's no data produced by any authority that indicates that Verizon, T-Mobile, or AT&T is congested. None. RootMetrics doesn't indicate it. Ookla doesn't indicate it. OpenSignal doesn't indicate it. Nothing. There is no data to support that claim. So anybody that says any carrier is congested might only be speaking from a frame of reference that it's their personal experience and it's probably at a very isolated location. Like one sector on a tower at a certain moment of time on a Tuesday afternoon or something like that. It's just, you can't describe a national evaluation of a network on one particular cell site or one sector on a cell site even on one test. But let me tell you guys why this type of thing is really important for T-Mobile. Hear me out. T-Mobile needs to remain the fastest carrier for two reasons. Reason number one, T-Mobile's marketing is built on the premise that they are the fastest 5G network in the country. Their entire focus for the last 3 years has been availability and speeds of 5G. That has been their marketing, their go-to marketing strategy of their entire company. Fastest 5G network, biggest 5G network. If they don't have the fastest 5G network and the biggest 5G network, their marketing falls apart. They must remain those two things in place, characteristically describing their network. The moment that is not the case, the marketing has to change, right? Now, I think even when or if, say, Verizon or AT&T was to overtake them with those respects, they would still continue to use that as their marketing, right? So that's the first thing. Their marketing requires them to maintain those descriptors. The second thing, the second reason why T-Mobile has to maintain the fastest 5G network. T-Mobile sells mobile network access and 5G home internet. Speed on a network is a proxy of available capacity. Contrary to popular belief, everybody thinks that speeds matter on their phone. On the contrary, you only need a certain amount of speed on your phone. For example, 20 to 30 megabits per second gets you a 4K stream, video stream. One would argue that you don't need a 4K stream on your phone. It's a small display. You likely only need, worst case scenario, a 1080p video stream. Maybe a quad HD if you've got a really keen eye, really sharp vision. In that case, you need about 5 to 10 megabits per second for video, right? You could argue maybe it's better to have a little bit more throughput. Maybe you want to hotspot your tablet, or you want to hotspot your laptop, or you got to send or receive a file, right? If you're sending a file, it's nice to have a couple hundred megabits per second. You could send it in, less than 30 seconds or something. So having the extra speed is good in that respect. But in its truest form, when carriers, look up here, make speed, what they're doing is they are creating capacity so that everyone in the collective has enough speed to use their apps. And in the case of T-Mobile, it's apps, it's the mobile applications, and it's the home internet, the fixed wireless access. So my position is shrouded in the logic and the reasoning that T-Mobile has to produce incredible amounts of speed because they are A, the fastest growing big mobile network operator with respect to mobile users, right? They have the most customers in the SOGA, the share of gross adds each quarter. Now, big cable is involved, and I get it. They do add a lot, and they're on the Verizon network, so we can make that argument too. But generally speaking, that's the case. And of course, the T-Mobile customer historically has also used the most gigs per month because they've had unlimited around the longest. And those customers are accustomed, pun intended, to using all that data. Now throw in the home internet. You have usage there, right? There are tablets, there are watches, there are all these connected devices. The speeds are a proxy. It's telling us that there's capacity on the network, right? So when T-Mobile has 1.5 gigabits per second on like 5G UC, they've got like 160 megahertz of N41, they've got 20 megahertz of N25, they've got 10 megahertz of N71 or 20, whatever it is. They are specifically trying to create the capacity so that everybody has enough speed to do what they have to do, right? So that's my take. My take is very simple. The speeds matter to T-Mobile because they've got multi-purpose network and they've got a capacity requirement because they've got a lot of usage on their network. So that's my position. Their marketing requires speed as part of their description. And then, of course, the use cases, they require all of it. So when you see T-Mobile start to increase backhaul fiber circuits to the tower sites, 10 gig fiber, you see them doing more upgrades. We're going to start seeing T-Mobile doing some cell splits, adding more cell sites on rooftops and, you know, putting a new macro here and there and growing the network and maybe getting to the small cells soon and maybe millimeter wave. I don't know, whatever, right? That's what we're talking about here. Those are my two things. And you guys might agree or disagree, but in my estimation, Verizon is also under some of those same pressures because they are also going to be selling 5G home internet. See what I'm saying? AT&T is really the only company that really doesn't care about speed. They don't really do the whole like fixed wireless access thing, and they don't care about speed. They don't claim to be the fastest. Their goal, if you look at their marketing, fast, reliable, secure. So fast, in their case, fast enough. You know, the task gets done. Reliable, it's always there for you, right? And secure, because that gives the customer peace of mind. There are different ways that you can support the SMT. One of them, obviously, is to rate the video. That helps. You interact with the content, you know, comments and likes and shares and those things. But if you want to be more directly supportive of your content creators, the way that you do that is with supports like the Buy Me a Coffee link. You can support us that way. There's also the other, you know, donation type supports. Really what I want to do is grow the communities within Patreon and the YouTube memberships, and more so the Patreon, because I can give you more through Patreon. So if you guys like what the YouTube channel does and you like what it offers, you're looking for a bunch of things like early access videos and additional live streams, you want more of the SMT, that's how you could do it. So I recommend checking us out on Patreon. The link is in the description. But if you don't want to do that, then you can support us lots of other ways. In the description, you've got the coffee link. You've got other stuff. There's ways to support the channel. Of course, if you need service, but you want a good value, you're sick and tired of price hikes, you're looking for a better deal, we have partnered with Mint Mobile. All right, use our partner link. It's in the description. They just increased all of the data allotments on all their plans, and they didn't touch pricing. So the 4 gig plan went to a 5 gig plan. They kept it $15. The 15 gig plan, right, used to be a 10 gig plan, right? And they kept it at $20 a month, right? So they added all this value, didn't even touch pricing. This is why we absolutely must support this company. They are doing good things. I mean, you tell me what carrier is doing this. What carrier gives you more for the same amount of money, right? All these other companies are raising pricing. T-Mobile just increased plan rates, right? Their new plans are more expensive. Verizon is historically known, AT&T historically known for slapping on increases to fees and additional fees and all those types of things. Mint Mobile's different. They're different. They're giving you more and they're not charging you more, right? So if you're looking for a second line, you want to try the T-Mobile network, you know, you're looking for a better value. I can think of a dozen reasons to switch to Mint Mobile. And of course, you can port your number. You can get, you know, phone deals. They'll like, look at this. Look at this one. It's here at the top, right? We're talking about 6 months of free service when you buy a phone and get their 6-month plan. So you would essentially have a year of service and a phone all on a good deal. Can't beat it. All right. Links in the description. Use it. It's our unique partner link, and it will support the channel.